Hello friends, இன்னைக்கு நம்ம இந்த வீடியோல கம்பைலர் டிசைன் யூனிட் 1 பத்தி பார்க்க போறோம். கம்பைலர் டிசைனுக்கு அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி பிரிஸ்கிரைப் பண்ண புக் வந்து ஆல்ஃப்ரெட் அஹோவோட கம்பைலர்ஸ் பிரின்சிபல்ஸ் டெக்னிக்ஸ் அண்ட் டூல்ஸ். இந்த புக் வந்து ஆன்லைனில் பிடிஎஃபாகவும் இருக்கு. இல்லை வாங்கணும்னு நினைக்கிறவங்க அமேசானில் கூட போய் வாங்கிக்கலாம். இப்போ நம்ம இதில் யூனிட் 1 பற்றி பார்ப்போம். யூனிட் 1 வந்து இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் சாப்டர் ஓட ஆரம்பிக்குது. அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி சிலபஸ் படி யூனிட் 1ல் இருக்கிற போர்ஷன்ஸ் மட்டும்தான் நம்ம இங்கே கவர் பண்ண போகிறோம். என்டையர் புக் வந்து கவர் பண்ண கிடையாது. அண்ணா யூனிவர்சிட்டி சிலபஸில் இருக்கிற இம்பார்ட்டண்ட் கொஸ்டின்ஸ் அண்ட் டாபிக்ஸ் தான் நம்ம இன்னைக்கு பார்க்க போகிறோம். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் கொஸ்டின் இன் யூனிட் 1, வாட் இஸ் அ கம்பைலர்? அதோடைய ஆன்சர் வந்து இங்கே இருக்குது. Compiler is a program that can read a program in one language, and the one language enna source language, and translate it into equivalent program in another language. Adu vandu target language. Source language la irundhu target language convert pannomna that is the compiler. 2 mark over. Idoda diagrammatic representation da inga kuduthirukkranga. Next, what is a target program? Target program ன்றது ஒண்ணுமே இல்ல, எக்ஸிக்யூட்டபிள் மெஷின் லாங்குவேஜ் ப்ரோக்ராம். அதாவது இது வந்து ஒரு அவுட்புட் ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணும். அந்த அவுட்புட் வந்து எக்ஸிக்யூட் பண்ண முடியற மாதிரி இருக்கும். ஸோ இட் இஸ் கால்ட் as எக்ஸிக்யூட்டபிள் மெஷின் லாங்குவேஜ் ப்ரோக்ராம். இட் கேன் தென் பி கால்டு பை யூசர் டு ப்ராசஸ் இன்புட் அண்ட் ப்ரொடியூஸ் அவுட்புட். ஹியர் வி கிவ் இன்புட் அண்ட் கெட் அன் அவுட்புட். இப்போது இந்த ப்ராசஸ் வந்து லென்த்தியான ப்ராசஸ் மாதிரி இருக்குது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட்டு சோர்ஸ் ப்ரோக்ராம்லேருந்து நமக்கு அவுட்புட் வேணுன்ற போது நம்ம சோர்ஸ் ப்ரோக்ராமை கம்பைலர் கொடுத்து கம்பைலர்லேருந்து ஒரு டார்கெட் ப்ரோக்ராம் ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணி அதுக்கு ஒரு இன்புட் கொடுத்து அவுட்புட் வாங்குறோம். இட் லுக்ஸ் ஸோ லென்த்தி, ரைட்? ஸோ an alternative for that is the interpreter. Interpreter is another common kind of language processor. Instead of producing target program as a translation, interpreter appears to directly execute the operations specified in the source program and input supplied by the user. In the source program input ரெண்டுத்தையுமே நம்ம interpreter கொடுத்தோம்னா we will get the output. So this process is simplified over here. Okay, next என்னதுன்னா the difference between the compiler and interpreter. கம்பைலர்ல தான் வந்து ஃபாஸ்டா எக்ஸிக்யூஷன் நடக்கும் compared to interpreter. This is one difference. Interpreter, what it does is error diagnostics, better error diagnostics. It gives a better error diagnostics than a compiler. Why and how is it executes program statement by statement. ஒரு லைனா program execute பண்ணும் interpreter, so it gives a better error diagnostics than a compiler. The answer for the question difference between a compiler and interpreter lies over here. Next to mark is process of compilation, how it occurs. They are giving Java as an example over here. First, what is done? Bytecode is generated. அது வந்து ஒரு intermediate form. இந்த bytecode வந்து interpreted by a virtual machine. இதை வந்து ஒரு virtual machineக்கு அனுப்புறாங்க. அப்புறமா வந்து you get a output program. Okay, this is the process. Next, the very important question is just-in-time compiler. What is just-in-time compiler? Okay, just-in-time compiler, it is also known as hybrid compiler, which is given in the next page. Okay, hybrid compiler. Just-in-time compiler is also known as hybrid compiler. Now we will see what is just-in-time compiler. In order to achieve faster processing of input and output, some Java compilers called just-in-time compiler translate the bytecode into machine language immediately before they run the intermediate program to process the input. So என்ன ஆகுதுன்னா bytecode machine language மாத்திடுறோம். Here you can see bytecode is translated to machine language. The program is given to a translator, an intermediate program is generated which is given to a virtual machine. This virtual machine also has an input to produce the output. இது பேரு hybrid compiler னு சொல்வாங்க, just in time compiler னு சொல்வாங்க. next பார்க்க போறது yes, a language processing system. How it works, what it is, the process is listed here. Okay, language processing system. இதோடைய description part is given over here. Okay, this part is the description of the diagram over here. I will say a short gist of it. You can refer to that description. Okay, first ஒரு source program நம்ம preprocessorக்கு கொடுக்கணும். preprocessor என்ன பண்ணுனா அது ஒரு தனித்தனி ஃபைல்ஸா அது வந்து செப்பரேட் பண்ணி சின்ன சின்ன modified source programமா மாத்தும். இந்த modified source programமை என்ன பண்றோம்னா கம்பைலருக்கு நம்ம கொடுப்போம். கம்பைலர் என்ன பண்ணுனா இந்த source program first diagram பார்த்தோம் இல்லையா, source program is given to a compiler to get a target program. இந்த source programமை கம்பைல் பண்ணி ஒரு target programமா கொடுக்கும். target programன்றது ஒரு assembly programனு இங்க சொல்றாங்க. target program assembly programமா மாறி நமக்கு வருது. It is also given over here. See, modified source program is fed to a compiler. Compiler may produce an assembly language program as input because assembly language is easier to produce as input and easier to debug. Why assembly language program is doubt சில பேருக்கு வரலாம், because it is easier to debug. Next, இதுக்கப்புறம் எங்க போறோம்னா assembler வந்து இதை திருப்பியும் ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு relocatable machine code produce பண்ணுது. இந்த machine code எடுத்து நம்ம ஒரு linkerக்கோ loaderக்கோ along with the library files and relocatable object files, we get a target machine code. This is the gist of the language processing system, how the source program is processed to give an output. Okay, next, structure of a compiler. This is a very important question. Explain the structure of a compiler. Or they may give you a expression and tell you to parse it. Okay, and this is the structure of the compiler. Okay, the character stream. Wait a minute. Yes, now it is seen fully, I guess. Okay, first ஒரு character stream is given to a lexical analyzer. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி we must know what is a lexical analyzer, what it does and what are its processes. Okay, first, lexical analyzer. ஒரு lexical analyzer என்ன பண்ணுனா tokens-ஆ மாத்தும். நம்ம கொடுக்கிற expression-ஐ token stream-ஆ மாத்தும். See, you can see in the example over here. I'll show you an example. I'll explain it parallelly so that it will be easy for you to understand. Yes, this is the example. It is after 2 pages, that is in page number 7, it is present. Okay, the same thing with example. Okay, you will in your exam question, this will be your question. You need to draw the entire diagram fully. Okay, the translation phases of a compiler. The question may be phases of a compiler. Okay, this is your character stream. An expression, a simple expression. It can be a equal to b plus c also. Okay, the lexical analyzer converts this expression into tokens, small tokens. Okay, the variables over here, position, initial, rate, is given an id value. There is id1, id2, id3. அப்படியே இங்க இருக்கிறத கீழே எழுதி இருக்கும். பட் இந்த வேரியபிள் நேமுக்கு பதிலா நம்ம id அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஐடென்டிஃபையரை யூஸ் பண்றோம். It is a unique identifier. இப்போ நம்ம இங்கே யூஸ் பண்ண ஐடென்டிஃபையர் immediately we must write in the symbol table for future reference. symbol tableல நம்ம வேல்யூஸை பிளேஸ் பண்ணிட்டே வரணும். நம்ம பொசிஷன் 1க்கு id, 1 எப்படி கொடுக்குறோம் 1னா because in the symbol table it has the location 1. okay, so id, 1 equal to operators can be represented as such. No need of identifiers, only the variables need identifier. Even the numbers can be placed as such. okay, here in the question the number 60 is given as we need the output as a float value, okay, not an integer, so the conversion of int to float must take place. okay, the numbers and the operators need not be placed in the symbol table. Now we will go into the analysis phase, that is the syntax analysis phase. okay, first what we did lexical analysis. Here you can see lexical analyzer, character stream and a token stream. A character stream is given to a lexical analyzer to produce a token stream. The same with example over here, character stream is given to produce a token stream. okay, now syntax analyzer, what this does, it generates a parse tree. The syntax analyzer generates a syntax tree. It is a syntax tree, not a parse tree, syntax tree. okay, here a syntax tree is formed. How to draw a syntax tree? You may have a doubt. okay, always start from the right hand side. okay, star has the highest order of precedence, so multiplication will be done first. so multiply 60 into id3, the multiplication is done over here. okay, 60 into id3, then the product value will be added with the initial value. What is initial? Is identity number, it is 2, so id2 plus this product, this entire product. okay, you will get the sum. Now where it is stored? It is stored in position, so the entire sum, this part will be stored in id1. okay, what is id1? That is the position. okay, now the next part, what we are doing over here is the syntax tree is now given to a semantic analyzer. What the semantic analyzer does, it converts the integer to float value, because in the question it was given as 60 is a floating point number, but here we have used an integer to convert it into float, so we are writing into float. The same syntax tree is redrawn and integer to float value is converted. Semantic analysis checks for the mistakes. Small mistakes will be checked over here. Next, intermediate code generator. Now the intermediate code is generated based upon the syntax tree that was generated by the semantic analyzer. Here, intermediate code generator generates an intermediate representation. So the intermediate representation, see how it is. We are using many temporary variable and it is in the format of 3 address code. What is 3 address code? You will have only 3 variable values and there may be 1 or 2 operators over here. Okay, a plus or star or something. Okay, first what is done, always come from the bottom or the rightmost part or the first thing that is going to be executed. First what we will do, 60 will be converted to float value, that is given as t1 equal to into float 60. 60 is getting converted to float, அதாவது 60.00 அப்படின்னு மாறிக்குது. next இந்த 60 என்ன பண்றோம்னா multiply பண்றோம் with what id3 60 எங்க ஸ்டோர் ஆயிருக்கு t1 ல id3 யோட multiply பண்றோம் so id3 into t1 இத ஒரு வேரியபிள்ல ஸ்டோர் பண்ணிக்கலாம் t2 ல next என்ன பண்றோம்னா addition பண்ணனும் addition எதோட பண்ணனும் id2 and the product value of this the product of this and the id2 இதோடைய product along with id2 so இதோடைய product நம்ம எங்க ஸ்டோர் பண்ணியிருக்கோம் we have stored it in t2 so t2 plus id2 okay this is stored in another variable called t3 okay next the sum must be equated to id1 where is the sum stored the sum is stored in t3 okay t3 equal to id1 okay now we got an intermediate code okay now this code is looking very long and many repetitions many temporary variables so we need to make it a shorter one that is done in code optimization இப்போ இந்த கோட் எடுத்து code optimizer குள்ள கொடுக்கிறோம் code optimizer குள்ள கொடுத்த உடனே see first step what you will do is remove this excess step this step is not needed right this is an extra part so we will assign id1 or 2 directly to this equation id1 can be assigned directly to the equation so it becomes id1 equal to id2 plus t1 okay we got the last line now we need to optimize it these two lines need optimization right the above two lines need optimization into float what is the value 60.0 we all know that right so directly give the value in t1 why to assign it to a variable and process give it as 60.0 this variable t1 is assigned by us our own self only okay you can give any value to it okay t1 t2 t3 t4 t5 anything can be given as per our wish okay it is just a temporary variable that is used so id3 into 60.0 now after the code optimization phase what is done see after the code optimization phase the code optimization phase here they have described as two types machine independent and machine dependent as you can see two things are there machine dependent and machine independent there we are representing only as a single phase we did not separate it then it generates an intermediate representation see the intermediate representation is formed over here then the code generator this is the assembly language program that is being generated as we saw before we saw that assembly language program will be generated by a compiler in the language processing system okay how this assembly language program is written it is written by using the optimized code that is produced by a code optimizer now you see how to make it first here 60 into id3 is stored in one variable right now before using an id value first it must be loaded because this has one value let us consider id3 has a value 1 okay 1 into 60 must be done so 1 must be already present in one register most of the assembly language program if you see means it will have registers okay first the process must be loaded into the register then it must be processed then storage and all take place in a assembly language program and then assembler okay now 60 and id3 are multiplied so we get the answer as 60 only because we are given as 1. இப்போ வந்து ID3 first வந்து register 2 குள்ள லோட் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். ID3ல இருக்க வேல்யூ என்னன்னு தெரியறதுக்காக register 2 குள்ள லோட் பண்ணிக்கிறோம். Then we multiply ID3 and 60. அதான் இங்க பண்ணிருக்காங்க 60 and ID3 is stored where? R2. Okay, so this is multiplied with R2. Where to store the result? The result is stored in R2 itself. Okay, so now you see, always in assembly language program, if you see, it will be executed in this fashion. The output will always be executed in this fashion. If you see, the ID3 value is stored in the register R2. The product of R2 and 60 is stored in register R2. Always the storage part remains in the leftmost side. Now we need to do the addition part. ID2 must be added to T1. What is T1? It has the answer of ID3 and 60's product. Where is the product stored here? R2. So now first you load ID2 to one register R1. This R1 R2 can be of your choice. You can give any number of your choice. It is as per your wish. Here they have taken as R1. So ID2 is loaded into R1. Now we need to add R1 and R2. Why R1 and R2? Because ID2 and the product must be added. Where is the ID2 stored? In R1. So R1 and R2 are added and stored in R1. Okay, after storing the result in R1, it must be moved to ID1. So we use store. Here we have used F. What does that mean? The floating point value. The question they will be mentioning whether it is a float or not. Here 60.0 is float, so load float value. Okay, float. Okay, now the R1 has the answer which must be given to ID1 because ID1 must have the answer. Okay, the final answer must be present in ID1, that is the position, which is nothing but ID1. The final answer is stored in ID1. This is how the process takes place, and this is the very important question. Okay, most repeated one. The expression may change. Okay, this expression may change. They may ask you with various different expressions. Okay, I'll tell you the gist now. First you split into token, then a syntax tree is drawn, then int to float conversion, then a small code with a temporary variable, then you reduce the code, and finally the final executable assembly language program is generated. எப்பயுமே நம்ம இதை பண்ணும்போது நிறைய பேர் எதை மறந்துடுவாங்கன்னா இந்த symbol table, which is very important. This carries mark. Okay, this symbol table must be drawn. இதுதான் very important question in structure of a compiler. Part B question. Okay, இப்போ next வந்து ஒரு ஃபேஸையும் இங்க explain பண்ணி கொடுத்துருக்குறாங்க. அதாவது எப்படி எடுக்கிறோம், how we are splitting it, semantic analyzer என்ன பண்ணுது, then intermediate code generationல you get this value, right? This value, the explanation for what I said is given in detail over here. Summa if you learn 2 to 3 lines, it will be useful because many times they ask you with explanation. Okay, next code optimization, எப்படி optimize பண்றாங்க. Next code generation. இவ்வளவுதான் structure of a compiler. In the structure of compiler ஓட description எழுதும் போது don't forget to write about the symbol table. You must write symbol table is a data structure containing a record for each variable name and field for the attribute name. This line is a must because a symbol table is also a part of the phases of a compiler. Question வந்து phases of a compiler னு கேட்கலாம், or explain about the execution phases using an expression or using an example. The question might be asked. Very important part B question. Okay, thank you for listening to this video. Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.